Hi, today we're here with Andy. And Andy, as it's. Wait, actually, I don't know what your title is. Oh my god, I did not even check.
Well, I'm a product manager for wildlife and family products. Well, I'm a product manager for family product and Southern African safari. It sort of isn't all of wildlife,
Yeah.
so let's call it Southern African safari.
Okay.
But you can call it safari for the purpose of
Yeah.
this video.
Well, then you're the right person to speak to then, because as far as I believe, we have 17 safari trips, and they're all offering something a little bit different. And I think it could be quite hard for people to choose like the right one for them. So what I'm hoping we can do is kind of like go into the logistics of like what different ones offer, and then tips for first-time safari goers, and just get a better understanding of like the different adventures we have on offer. How does that sound?
Sounds great. Yeah.
Cool. So we'll start off with like the basic things. What's the best time of year to go on a safari for wildlife viewing?
Well, there's no real bad time to go on safari. There are wet seasons and dry seasons, but both have their merits. The wet season, the ground will be lusher. There'll be more flora, but that makes the wildlife a little bit trickier to spot.
Okay.
So on the particular game drive sections of the trip, there will be a lot more bird life and bug life too, and the megafauna, the big five, and all of the sort of cool animals that you go to see are also having babies in the wet season, and that's November, December, and March and April ish.
Yeah.
But obviously with climate change, things change a little bit.
Yeah, of course.
And then there are dry seasons in between those little sections, and then in the broader scope, through our sort of northern hemisphere summer, southern hemisphere winter, it's drier generally. And this changes again per country, but generally speaking, that's the way it works. So in the drier seasons, wildlife is a bit more visible because the flora is generally dying back.
Yeah.
But then water becomes more scarce, so animals move around more and get more desperate in some cases, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But this is wildlife. So you do see things moving around more. It's a little bit cooler, obviously in the wet season. It's more humid and a little bit hotter. So there's loads of strengths and weaknesses to both, really. But yeah, there's no bad season to go.
Well, that's the
on
answer we
safari.
want. Then.
Absolutely.
And then, if you're going on a safari, do you need any like special clothing or like gear for it that you should pack?
You want to try and wear mosquito-proof clothing, which is sort of thick enough that a mosquito can't sort of penetrate through, but is still light enough that you're not going to get too hot and bothered. And generally match the colours to the surroundings you're in. So in sort of savannah, that's kind of like khakis and beige colours, and steer clear from the brighter colours, which can stand out to animals from afar, and obviously that's going to deter them from you having the best wildlife experience.
Nice, that makes sense. So if we're looking at the destinations, what's the best safari for first timers?
Okay, I think South Africa is probably the best place to go. The Kruger National Park particularly is one of the most densely populated national parks, if not the most densely populated national park. In Southern Africa, perhaps even the planet. Don't check my numbers. Don't check my numbers. But there's a really high propensity of wildlife, so there's a lot of chances to see all of the big things that you want to go on game drives to see. And there's tons of other sort of like smaller species that sort of love the Kruger National Park too. So that's got to be up there.
Yeah, you might have already answered this, but maybe not. But I know a lot of people will be going in particular for the big cats. What would be the best safari to see them?
Okay, so in my personal experience, Botswana is particularly incredible. And there's a corner of the Chobe National Park called Savuti, which on our camping Botswana Wildside safari is the time to go and go to the Savuti area, where there are gigantic prides of lions.
Oh, wow.
Some are known to be 36 members strong, and that fluctuates obviously.
Yeah.
But that's a huge pride of lions. And so to feed those lions, because they all share their food for every kill they have, they're known to hunt elephants in this particular park.
Oh wow! Okay.
So there's some really sort of special opportunities to see lions tackling huge prey. Elephants are known to be taking giraffes and all sorts of other animals in between, but it gives you a really good opportunity to see these amazing creatures.
You're really seeing the wild then, aren't
all
you?
of their glory. Yeah. It's really special. I was there back in 2024, and we could hear lions roaring throughout the night as we slept, sort of on one side of camp as we went to bed, and they'd moved around to the other side of camp by the morning, and there's nothing like it.
Yeah.
It's out of this world.
Oh, that's insane.
It's incredible. Yeah. Really, really cool.
And then this might be more of a tricky one, but for those that have been to safaris before and are more like seasoned safari goers, do you have like an adventure for them? Could you recommend one?
So we produced a pioneer trip, the ultimate overland coast to coast, which we've put together in the last few years and have now run a successful departure and are hoping to run a second shortly, where you go from the Namibian coast and see the gigantic sand dunes at Sossusvlei, and then you come inland through the Kalahari, you go to the Okavango Delta, and to Moremi and Chobe, to the Mahadi Pans, to Victoria Falls. You go through Zimbabwe and have incredible walking safari experiences and see sand caveman paintings, and you go all the way out through Kruger and eventually to Mozambique, to a dolphin adventure out in the sea. That encompasses absolutely everything, and it's a proper once in a lifetime. See everything in one trip. It's a full 4-week immersion in all of Southern Africa. So, of course, for sort of first timers, you might go and see bits of it, but this is the absolute blockbuster experience that.
And a month as well.
Yeah,
that'd be the best month of your life.
27 days. It's just you would never have a month like it again.
Yeah, that sounds amazing.
It's incredible. Yeah, for sure.
And then let's talk a little bit about the accommodation. What would you? Because we have like safaris in which you camp, and then we have lodge safaris. What would you say the key differences between those for people trying to decide which one to go on?
Yeah, and newly we have a third trip, which is a non-participation lodge safari too. So the majority of our trips are participation sort of safaris. So you are expected to help out, do a little bit of the cooking and the sort of making a bit of breakfast and help to put your own tents up in the case of camping safaris. But it helps to bring everyone together and is a real sort of like community vibe, and there's not too much work to do. It's really nice to sort of
the fun as well.
Yeah, like, totally. You get to muck in together. But to answer your question more directly, the camping safaris, by and large, you're camping either in really great sort of wild landscapes, or you're within the national parks. Particularly in Botswana, you're on campsites that are sort of amongst the wildlife. So from dawn until dusk, you're just immersed in the sort of wild landscapes. So if your particular focus on safari is the wildlife experience, then camping is completely unsurpassed because you're just amongst it all of the time. Like the noises don't stop. You're constantly listening to sort of like the birds during the day and then the cicadas at night and all of the elephants and lions and hyenas and everything else that goes with it. So you're fully immersed. Whereas if you prefer a few more creature comforts, then the lodge safaris are wonderful. And are usually close to the gates. You might lose sort of like 10 or 15 minutes in the morning where you sort of get up and you get your coffee or, your bit of breakfast or whatever. And then you've got to get to the gate and go through the gate before you can start your journey. And obviously every moment's precious at sunrise, because that's when all of the animals are still at their sort of most busy, before the heat of the day becomes too much. So yeah, game drives first thing in the morning and last thing at night. Those key moments at dawn and at dusk are really where you've got the golden opportunity to see lots of really cool things.
Amazing.
So yeah, I think that's the difference.
I think you kind of answered my question, but just in case there's any more details on it, I was going to ask how far, like, I suppose the animals are from where you camp. Like, are you really like with them?
Yeah.
Like right there.
In lots of cases, you are sort of within it and amongst it, like throughout the night. And some cases when I've been on camping safari, you've heard the footsteps of hyenas running through camp, which is just out of this world. Like, they're amazing creatures. And yeah, you can hear the hippos off in the pool, or you can occasionally even hear lions sort of roaring off in the. But their voice carries for miles, so they feel like they're right there.
Yeah, but they're not actually.
But
they're like outside the tent.
They could likely be 2 or 3 miles away, but it's an amazing experience.
Very immersive then.
Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, not to detract from the lodge safaris, because in a lot of cases too, they're either in the park or they're just outside of the park, and they're sort of still a very wild place to be. Like, you'll still have elephants moving through all over the place. they're not too bothered about where a park boundary is. So there's all sorts of very immersive experiences.
Yeah, nice. And then getting a bit more down to like the nitty gritty now. What's included in a Key safari trip cost? Because some people might be interested in knowing what you're getting for your money.
Yeah. So we include all of the national park fees and local payments to make sure everything's covered from the outset. In a lot of cases, in fact, almost every breakfast will be covered. Most lunches, because they tend to be either at the lodge or camping, and then on travel days you'll be at a roadside, so you just sort of stop and have a sort of roadside picnic. Everyone walks in and gets their own sort of like lunch sorted, a bit of salad or sandwiches here and there, and then some dinners. But when we get to towns, then there's the opportunity to eat out in restaurants, or there'll be a campsite restaurant in some cases where you can sort of pick off your own menu and pay your own expense. And we also include, because of the flight connections to some of these places, we'll include an extra night at the start of the trip, just to make sure that you've landed, rested, and you're fully ready to go, because most of these safaris start at dawn.
Yeah, and you don't want to miss out on that.
It's an adventure rather than and our guides will tell you this as well. It's an adventure rather than a holiday. Yeah. you're in it. You're all in together, and you go, and then you maximise your time out in the wilds of Southern Africa.
Wonderful. And then this is like a little fun bit about your personal experience with safaris. So, first of all, what is your favourite safari destination and why?
I think I said it earlier, but Savuti was just totally wild. Like it's like nothing I've ever really experienced before. Like huge, vast savanna that occasionally turns into marshland, and you can see for literally miles around. The sort of, then there's like Mopani Forest, and there's rocky outcrops where one's literally called Leopard Rock, where leopards hang out, and if you're very lucky, you'll get to see them there. And then obviously there's just surrounded by lions. There's lions everywhere, and they are such cool creatures. There's nothing sleeps like a full lion in the sunshine. You can't move it at all. It's just bliss. It's incredible. So Savuti was just out of this world.
I'm interested. This ties in with the next question I have, because what's your most unforgettable wildlife moment?
Oh heck. So many things. I've already mentioned quite a few, but there was whilst in Zimbabwe, we went on a walking safari, and this is something that happens on our trips too, where you're taken out to meet the rangers within the Matopos National Park, and you get out at the corner of a road, and then you're taken in on foot. Into the bush, basically. And usually the white rhinos will sort of find top of a hill, so they've got a little bit of like a sort of view around them to keep themselves fairly safe. and they sit down and they usually snooze in the sunshine.
Like the lions.
But they are giant hulking creatures. They're huge things. And so the guide takes you up to sort of be with these amazing creatures on foot. So you sort of stand there and you're asked to obviously keep your voice quite low, and they tell you a little bit about the conservation work that they're doing to help protect these rhinos. And it is absolutely amazing to be in the presence of something that's basically the size of a bus, and and in a couple of steps could be right on top of you, but you're kept safe because these rangers, they know exactly how to behave around these creatures, and so as long as you listen to all of the advice, you can have an amazing experience, and lots of photos, lots of really, really great information about the conservation work, and just being in the presence of these incredible creatures. Just, amazing.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, so cool.
And then just another fun one, but if you had to pick, would you choose a sunrise or a sunset, like game drive experience?
That's like trying to pick your favourite child.
But can it be
done? Man, I mean the beautiful golden hour sunset for photography is out of this world, but the very first moment of sunrise, when like an African sunrise, obviously it just goes straight up. So it's like all of a sudden the lights switch on and everything's there.
Yeah.
And the anticipation of getting out and seeing things just around the corner, or usually this is a great thing that the guides do. If they've heard lions in the night, they'll draw a line outside their tent to point in the direction that they've heard the noise.
Oh, okay. That's
so there's
cool.
half a chance that if the lion is sort of like roaring but is kind of sat down, you can head straight out in the truck and go in that direction and see if you can find them. Yeah, which occasionally works, doesn't always. But that's the anticipation around sunrise and a good cup of coffee. Yeah, it's
that's
great.
just like the best way to start your day, isn't it? It's a guaranteed good day if that's how it starts.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Nice. And then would you choose a camping experience or would you choose a lodge experience?
Well, for me, it's got to be camping.
Yeah.
It's totally wild, completely connected. It's life-changing for me, which is weird because you camp in the UK and it's a bit grey, it's a bit wet, it's usually really windy and cold.
If you're in the Lake District, it can be.
Yeah, precisely. It's nothing like that.
Yeah.
It's completely flips camping on its head for me because you're just amongst it. You're completely immersed the whole time, stripped back, raw, and usually a good braai in the evening, that helps. Yeah, a good barbecue over the fire. Ooh.
You can't beat a barbecue, to be fair.
Mega.
Yeah. Nice. Well, that's everything that I've got for you today, Andy. Thank you so much for taking the time to answer the questions.
You're welcome.
And if you have any more, you can comment them down below and I'm sure Andy will get back to you.
I'll try my best.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you.
Thanks.